Hello, welcome to Time with Terri, coming to you from the Space Coast of sunny Florida, where we have the beautiful Atlantic Ocean, lovely rivers, see rockets in the sky, and hear that tremendous sonic boom. I'm Terri, a retired medical professional who has worked with seniors my entire career. Now I'm at that stage in my life. In this outlet, Time with Terri, I would like to hear your ideas and share your concerns because to me, this is not just a podcast. It is my mission as a senior advocate to provide you with a network of amazing resources because in Brevard County, we care about our seniors. I would also like to support charitable organizations and small businesses. And I love trivia. So part of my show, I'm going to have a trivia question for the show. Okay, and since baseball season is here, I was reading something interesting about Hank Aaron. So my trivia question, to preface it, is in 1974, he broke Babe Ruth's record of 714 home runs. How many home runs did he have in his entire career? That's the question. Okay, and today I am privileged to interview a very good friend of mine, Carlos Cuesta. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right.
That's okay. Yeah. It's Cuesta, but that's okay.
Okay. He is, I see him all the time at the network, out networking. And the great thing about networking is that we do see some of the same people, and we know that the people that we see, we've become friends with and have a heart for seniors. And Carlos, you really have a heart for seniors. And Carlos loves to take pictures.
Yes, I do.
He is quick to click, and he's a lot of fun. Carlos is a lot of fun. He always brightens up the room. And he is a lot of fun, but he's very serious about providing good quality care for his clients and their caregivers. So, Carlos, tell us your background.
By the way, I did meet Hank Aaron. I was about 12 or 14 years old.
Really?
At a baseball signing, autographs. So my dad took me, and it was an honor to meet him. But my background? Mm-hmm. Well, just to let you know, I'm Cuban descent. I was raised in Miami, but most of my life I was raised in Princeton, New Jersey. It's actually a small town with one traffic light, one police car, like Mayberry, the Andy Griffith Show.
Nice.
Where if you went through a red light, and this happened, if you go through a red light, the police officer looks the other way because he doesn't want to pull you over to give you a ticket. But I was raised actually in Hopewell, New Jersey, and then came down to the Florida in the mid-'80s. But since then, prior to Synergy Home Care, I was at 39 years I spent in human resources. So I've lived in areas in the Carolinas, Las Vegas, Miami, Orlando, and now Palm Bay, Melbourne areas, which I love. But that's, I signed on with Synergy Home Care back in November of 21.
Okay. Did you buy the company in 2021?
That's when I signed as a franchise owner. We have almost 600 locations right now. So we're all individually owned and operated, myself and my wife. So, 2021, November 2021 is when I signed the paperwork, and I couldn't get out of it. So I was on board.
Good. Well, that's good. And, so you know the area well.
Yes, I do.
Which is great. And you have a great background with human resources and staffing so that when you hire people, you don't just hire people off the street and say, there you go. It's you vet them.
Yeah, well. We meet everybody, number one, in our office. But I put in place a behavior interview process. So actually, when we post our positions out there specifically and candidates do apply, they have to go through a questionnaire first. And that questionnaire if they answer the questions right, they go to the next step. If not, they don't move on to the next step. So what happens then, they can schedule a time to meet with my recruiter in the office. And when they schedule that time, it's actually a Zoom call. So they have a 10, 15-minute call real quick. If that goes well, the recruiter actually sends them the application, a link, and they come into the office for a full interview, a behavior interview.
Nice.
And then from there, we decide, do we move forward in the process or not? And if we do move forward in the process, and then where do we place them? Will be a good fit for them and for our client, of course.
Good. That's great. And you are bilingual, which is nice.
Yep. I speak Spanish and English. Mm-hmm. My main language, because I was raised in New Jersey, we spoke Spanish at home with my mom and dad. But mainly because I'm going to school, my sisters and friends, English is number one language. But yeah, I speak bilingual Spanish. Yeah.
Good, good. So, what made you decide to go into healthcare? Because you worked for business industry. You were industrial.
Yeah, I was I went from a recruiter level to a CEO level in the staffing recruiting business. But when I wanted to leave the corporate world, I looked at different industries: taxes, gyms, restaurants, ice cream shops, and then someone brought this to my attention, and I thought it's very similar to what I've always done for almost 39 years. You're hiring, qualifying, and then placing candidates on their jobs, which is cool. But what I really enjoy more is that you're helping families. And that's where the heart comes in. To be in this business, you got to have the heart. So how do you help families? How do you make their days better? And how do you sit down with them and listen to them? What are their needs? How can we? What do we need to do as a service to make their life easier, to help their loved one? And that's where I fell in love with the business.
Yeah, because it's excuse me, it is difficult at times. I had my mother lived with me. She has Alzheimer's. She's in a memory care facility now. But there are some people who have a loved one at home, and it can be difficult at times. They don't have any free time because when you have, especially if it's a dementia patient, it's hard to find free time because you're constantly watching your loved one. So it's great to have people from home care agencies to come in and give that caregiver some relief.
Yeah, it is. It's a challenging time. Everybody's busy. They have all kinds of priorities, whether they have parents or children. They have a job. So they rely on us to come in and help them, whether it's one day a week, whether it's 7 days a week, whether it's 24/7 or live-in. So we cover the entire spectrum. But again, it's about sitting down. A lot of times I get a call from a client. They think they have a plan in place. But once we sit down and ask the right questions, and we actually customize a plan that's going to specifically meet their needs when it comes to the budget and when it comes to what care needs they need. So I'm always looking at how do we provide the best service and how do we provide a budget that's going to fit their plans, because I understand where everybody's coming from. So it's really about knowing your client and putting something together that works for them. So when potential clients call me and they say, hey, do you have a price list? Or what's your price range? Or what's your minimum days or hours? I say, we don't have any. It's really, let's get together, let's sit down, let's see what your family member needs, your loved one needs, and let's work together on that.
That's great. That's great. Because sometimes people think they may need more or less, and you can help them, distinguish, help them decide what would work best for them and within their.
I'll give you an example. Last month I had one lady, she lived at home with her husband by herself. He would get up during the day, at night, in fall sometimes, and she says, I can't sleep at night because he's getting up, and I'm scared that he may trip. So I said, okay, and she says, my budget is $500 a week, $2,000 a month. I said, okay. So they needed a caregiver at night. So I sat down with her and I said, look, I'm going to give you, we can do a care plan 3 nights a week, 6 hours each night. It'll be right below $500 a week, which is super discount. But if I was able to help her put a caregiver to work and still be, okay, profitable-wise, why not do it? I'm helping a family. And because of that, she refers us to other clients, and she's giving us a 5-star review.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
So, and about the insurances, you know all about the different insurances that people have, especially for veterans.
Yeah, right. We accept, private pay, of course, and then you got long-term care insurance, right? And then the veterans. So we are a veteran provider. So we work with a lot of veterans. But I also meet with a lot of veterans to educate them about what's available to them, whether it's homemaker, respite care, aid in attendance. So we go over that, and then we talk about how would they qualify. Would they qualify? If they would, and then we go over the form, how to fill it out, how to send it in. And then, of course, they don't have to use me, but in most cases they do because we built a relationship, a trust. Then they send it in. Once it's approved, we begin service, and no cost to the veteran, which is pretty cool. And then the family members are always very grateful. They're really grateful. Thank you, Carlos, because we didn't know about this, and thank you for coming in and walking us through the process. So and that's really warms my heart.
That's good, yeah, because sometimes especially the veterans, they don't realize how many benefits that they have, and also in filling out forms. I know that when my father had Alzheimer's too, and a friend of my mom's helped her fill out all the forms for veterans, because forms, especially when you're older, it's just mind-boggling when you see all the things that you have to fill out on a form, and when you have someone to help them to walk them through that. that's great that you do
Right.
that with them. And
Yeah, because they're intimidated or they have a lot of pride and they don't want to go through the process. So we have a little conversation how it's going to help them, but also their spouse. And 9 out of 10 times we move forward and it's fine. Sometimes I have to pick up the phone and talk to their social worker or case manager, get everything approved, the process moving forward quickly. And we start. And then some clients also will use, I have clients that use me 40, 45 hours a week. Half of it will be VA and the other half will be private pay. So there's all kind of combinations that we can do to help them.
great.
Yeah.
That's great. And the services that are offered, you have they're all certified. Your CNAs are certified.
Yeah, Florida is a very highly regulated state in the country. Why? Because of our senior population, which is good for our clients, right? Protects them. All our CNAs are licensed through the state of Florida, or our home health aides are certified. Okay, so they all have the credential. They all have their ACA background check and all that done, and everything else that needs to be looked at. Then, if they have that, then we bring them in and we talk to the caregivers. But they're all professional. We ask for at least minimum 2 years experience. Why? Because we're putting a caregiver into someone's home. So we want to make sure it's an experienced person. But most of them have 5, 10, 15, 20 years experience. And I always tell my clients, if it's a caregiver I wouldn't put in my home with my mom or dad, I'm not going to put them in your home. And I make that guarantee. And then I follow up with my clients on an ongoing basis, make sure they're happy.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good because I know those of us who have a heart for seniors. It's the people that we work with. That's our mother or our father or sister, your brother or whatever.
Right.
And so we treat them as if they would treat they're like family. That
Exactly.
when whoever it is that we deal with. So that's great.
Exactly. And it's amazing how appreciative our customers are. How they say, Carlos, you don't know how much you're helping our family. So thank you so much. And and I'm accessible 24/7. Our clients, I tell them, you can call me anytime. 7 days a week. And there's no answering service. You're not talking to just anybody on the other. They know me in person because I do the home assessment myself. I even do walk-ons with our caregivers. If it's 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, automatically, without thinking about it, I walk on the caregiver. If it's during the day, I try to make my calendar open so I can walk them on, if possible. But the clients know me, so they feel comfortable calling me anytime when they have a need or an issue. So we're accessible, myself and Anna.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that's good. So how can we get in touch with you?
I mean, the best way is our phone number is 321-340-3828, extension 101.
Okay.
Just give me a call, or you can always text me. But the best way, the phone number, 321-340-3828, or you can email me at carloscuesta@synergyhomecare.com.
Okay, great. You have an office here. I'm here at Helping Seniors of Brevard at 1344 Apollo Boulevard. So
our original office in Palm Bay, which is great, on Robert J. Conlon and Palm Bay Road. But now we do have an office here in the Resource Center.
Okay.
Since we're getting so much demand in the Melbourne area, Vieira area. So, we have an office here now. And we're excited about it. We're super excited about it. It's nice to be more accessible to our clients. So
Good.
it's like, wow.
So you have the 2 locations. You have one in Palm Bay and one here in Melbourne?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Which is neat. To me, it's cool. It's cool to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, that's, it depends on where you're located. And if you're
Exactly.
beachside, you can just come across the causeway.
Exactly.
And if you're in Palm Bay, you're out there. So
Exactly.
that's great.
And I'm always
Great.
bouncing around.
Yes, you are. You are all over the place. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I see you all over the place, which is good.
That's what they tell me.
That's right. No, you got to get the word out. You got to let people know you're out there.
But it's the best part of the job. Not everybody can do it, but it's the best part of my job. I love being with families. I love taking care of people. I like going to networking meetings. Getting my name out there, getting our Synergy name out there. We're very proud of Synergy. When I got out of the corporate world, I actually met with 4 or 5 different companies. And I selected Synergy. Why? Because it's not the largest, it's not the smallest, but it's the fastest growing. For the past 5 years, we've been the fastest growing home care agency in the country for 5 years in a row.
Nice.
So it says something about the company. There's a lot of support, a lot of training, a lot of knowledge, which is great. And I've always worked in companies when you wake up, you're proud to go to that, represent that company. So that's a lot. It means a lot to me.
Yeah. Gives you a good feeling at the end of the day when you put your head on your pillow at night. You had a good, honest day's work and helped a lot of people out.
Yeah, we try to do that every day.
That's great.
But it's been very rewarding. Sometimes you think you're blessing other people, and you're the one who gets blessed yourself.
Exactly.
It's amazing, that feeling. So again, every time I have an interaction with a client, it's hey, what can I do better for you? How can we help you? How's your family member doing? Today we had one client that he ended his service 2 weeks ago, but I picked up the phone today, and I wanted to see how his Easter weekend went.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how's your weekend? How's Miss, his wife? Anything else I can do for you? And I had a client just call me last week. She we serviced her, and I'm actually meeting with her again tomorrow because we provided service about a year and a half ago, and now she's calling back saying, hey, we like to start up service again, and we like to talk to you in Synergy. So I have that all the time happening.
Good.
Which means, hey, we did the right job.
Right. Yeah. And especially if they refer you to other people, too. You know, that's good because word of mouth is better than any form of advertising that there is.
Every time somebody calls me, I'm asking, hey, how'd you know about us? How'd you know about us? I had someone today, she couldn't use our service, but she asked me for my recommendation for a chef. So I did refer someone to that can help her out. So that's rewarding because they trust my thinking and who they should use. So that happens quite often.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So get in touch with you. It's Synergy Home Care. And
Synergy Home Care anytime. Carlos Cuesta at synergyhomecare.com is my email. And then our phone number again is 321-340-3828, extension 101. And I always invite people, look at it, every time I come in touch with someone new, I say, look up our webpage or Facebook. I try to make our Facebook educational for families and people that are looking at it. Not, things that may help them. And also our Google reviews, we're 5 out of 5.
Great.
And that's growing. So we're very proud of it.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you for being here today on Time with Terri. Okay, so since you had met Hank Aaron, do you know how many career home runs he hit?
Not a clue. Well, somewhere in the 700.
Yeah, he hit 755 home runs. And he had an interesting quote, too. I kind of really I really like the quote. I mean, it's interesting to know that he hit 755 home runs. But his quote is, I never wanted them to forget Babe Ruth. I just wanted them to remember Henry Aaron. So, which is nice. He didn't want to take anything away from Babe Ruth, but, he wanted to be noted for his accomplishments.
When I met him as a kid, he was very polite, very cordial. He spent time with kid, and then he spent time with everybody around us asking for autographs. Nice. So he's missed. Good. And he's well known and well respected. Well respected, yeah. Exactly.
I read the two that Mickey Mantle had said that he never was given the achievements that he really deserved. Yeah. So Mickey Mantle was a big fan of his as well. Yep. So well, very interesting. Well, thank you very much for your time.
That's been fun. Thank you.
Yeah, it has been fun. Yeah, it's great.
I can come back anytime you want.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And I just want to say a special thanks to Helping Seniors of Brevard on 1344 Apollo Boulevard for allowing me to use their studio. And I just want to have a shout out for their car raffle. They have a car raffle every year, and this year it's October 26th at the Muscle Car Museum. And if you have never been there, you have got to go.
I was there 2 years ago. Oh, no, last year, too. 2 years in a row. Amazing.
Yeah.
500 cars.
Yes, 500 plus cars. Right. The tickets are $25 a piece or $5 for 100. Yep. And with that, you get the ticket, and you can give them as presents. You can give them as gifts because you get a chance to win 1 out of 7 cars. They have 7 different types of cars that people could win. And somebody had said the other day, you could give them for a gift.
I give them to clients. I give them to caregivers, friends.
Yes.
And I go.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
That's great,
yeah, but if you go to the car museum, have good shoes on because you're going to be doing a lot of walking. But it's amazing.
A lot of times people think only guys like cars. The wives, the women that go there, they're more amazed about the cars than the guys are sometimes. Yeah. So it's for everybody, for the family. Take everybody because they're going to love it.
Right.
They're going to love it. They really are.
It's amazing, too. And I'm a baby boomer, and it was, to see the Chevy Vega and the Chevy Nova. I'm like, they were like the big muscle cars back when I was a teenager. So it's just amazing, the
love
cars.
The muscle cars. That's my cars, too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Well, thank you for spending time with Terri today. I've enjoyed our time together. I look forward to our next episode. And As you were saying, to end my show is reach out and be a blessing to someone, and you'll be blessed too. Thank you very much.